best development books in the world by the Wall Street Journal. And here in Nigeria, it was adopted as a workbook for growing entrepreneurs by the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria. That is SMEDAN. It is a federal government agency in charge of small and medium-scale businesses in the country. Without further ado, we'll be diving right into the topics that we need to discuss on today's episode of the recap. We've got quite a lot to discuss, and of course, at some point in the program, we'll open the phone lines so that you can be a part of the conversation. In the meantime, tell a friend that the recap has just begun. You can find us on YouTube on the Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Yes, find us on YouTube. We are ready, we're willing, and it's time for us to roll. Welcome to the recap. Now we will start with this particular topic, this particular issue. You know, when I read about it for the first time, I'm like, okay, I mean, what is the reason? Fresh bill seeks the creation of 3 more states in the Southwest. A bill seeking the creation of 3 additional states in the Southwest has been listed for presentation in the House of Representatives. It was sponsored by the lawmaker representing Obokun Oriade Federal Constituency of Osun State, Oluwole Oke. The proposed law is seeking the creation of Okeogun, Ijebu, and Ife-Ijesha states. Okay, the proposed legislation is titled "The Bill for an Act to Amend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended." It seeks an amendment to the first schedule, part 1 of the Constitution, so that it will be amended, and that's the bottom line, right? So he wants 3 different states for the Southwest. One will be Okeogun, and the other one will be Ijebu State, and the other one would be there's one other state. Let me just go up. Ife-Ijesha. How will this work? All right, then, that's the very first topic we'll be looking at today. What do you think about the creation of 3 more states in the Southwest? What's the point, really? I'll be asking that question to my analyst very, very soon. We'll also be looking at, I don't know, this one, am I allowed to say bust my brain? Well, youth should be ready to go back to farm. Nigeria can feed itself. There is no need for food importation, according to President Tinubu. Now, the federal government says there is no need for the country to import food items from other nations, saying Nigeria can feed itself and even be a net exporter of food items. Now, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, made this known at a briefing in Aso Villa on Thursday during the week. He spoke after President Bola Tinubu met with the 30 state governors and the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, in some week at the Villa. Now, with many protests breaking out in states across the Federation over high cost of living and food shortages, some critics, commentators, and analysts had advised the government to consider the importation of essential commodities like rice, flour, amongst others. However, briefing reporters about the outcome of the meeting between the president and the governors on Thursday. The minister said a decision has been taken that in the interest of the country, there will be no need for food importation at this point, saying Nigeria has the potential to feed itself and even be a net exporter of food items to other countries. We're hungry. We're complaining of hunger. We've not found food to eat, but we want to export to other countries. In one word, a choke. NLC declares nationwide protest over hardship. That will be the third news item, the third topic we'll be looking at today. The Nigeria Labour Congress has said it will embark on a 2-day nationwide protest from February 27 to February 28. This is in about 10 days time, and this is over the mounting economic hardship and insecurity in the country. Now, the president of the NLC, Joe Ajaero, said this at the news conference at the end of its National Executive Council meeting on Friday in Abuja. Now, this was just yesterday. Ajaero said that the National Executive Council of the NLC met to discuss the state of the nation and the non-implementation of the agreement reached with the government. This was as far back as October 2, 2023. According to him, the NLC unanimously noted its deep disappointment and condemned the action of the federal government in refusing to implement the agreement reached, saying they have no choice but to go on a protest. I remember a particular poem when we were much younger. It says, I think it says maybe TikTok goes the clock. What you have to do quick. Why are you slating the protest for February 27th? What you have to do quick. Blame Buhari and Emefiele for current economic hardship. Afenifere tells Tinubu's critics. Okay, the Pan-Yoruba Socio-Political Organization Afenifere has said that the economic downturn being faced by Nigerians was caused by the mismanagement of the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari, with renewed concerns over the high cost of living since the inception of this administration. Afenifere is faulting those criticizing the president, saying they are still pained by his electoral victory. Wow! Now, it says those sleeping and snoring during the 8 years of Buhari have suddenly woken up. They forgot that these remedial actions should have been taken many years back. The major sins of PBAT, that's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, reside in his daring to contest and win the presidential election. A statement on Friday by the group's National Organizing Secretary, Kole Omololu, and Publicity Secretary, Jare Ajayi, read. Okay, I have quite a few questions on this one. So, if the statement, was signed by the group's National Organizing Secretary and the Publicity Secretary, does the chairman, the president, and other stakeholders of the group know about it? I'll be asking this question very soon. Moving on, we'll also be looking at Laolu Akonde saying APC's broken promises. Tinubu bears a heavier burden than Buhari. Former spokesman of Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Laolu Akonde, says Nigeria needs bold leaders to confront the country's multifaceted challenges, especially security and economic problems. Now, he made this known during a television program on Friday. According to him, leaders must be honest and courageous to overcome the challenges in the country. He's saying the problems as of today, the widespread hardship in the land, and the menacing insecurities require courageous leadership at the very top. Says our leaders must be bold enough to fire public officials who don't deliver on their key performance indicators, that's KPIs. He's saying there are lack of consequences in the country, there's impunity, and it's created new problems and of course also made all the problems worse. He's just saying, look, you can't totally put the blame on the current president, right? He is bearing a lot of burden coming from the Buhari tenure, the Buhari era. Let's just cut him some slack. Anyway, this is one of the topics we'll be discussing today. And finally, IMF confirms return of petrol subsidy under President Tinubu. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has said the Nigerian government had, through the back door, resumed the payment of subsidies on premium motor spirit, PMS, otherwise known as petrol. Now, you recall that on May 29 last year, during his swearing in inauguration speech, President Bola Tinubu announced an end to petrol subsidy, triggering a hike in the prices of goods and services in the country. Now, a few weeks later, the CBN collapsed the different exchange rate regimes into one, with the value of the naira to the dollar weakening. As of this week, in fact, dollar don't enter 1.6, and we are looking at it it will almost enter 2,000 naira very, very soon, and we know it's made things so much worse. Now, over the weekend, the IMF issued a statement on the conclusion of its executive board's post-financing assessment with Nigeria. It expressed concerns that the government had capped the prices of fuel at retail stations. Now, the global lender advised the administration of President Tinubu to completely stop the payment of subsidies on petrol to free funds to run the government. To free funds to run the government. All right, no problem. I have quite a few questions on each of these topics, and I'll be asking to my guests right about now. In case you're just joining us, you are tuned into the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Ijeoma Innocent. I am your host, and we'll be taking this all the way till 6 p.m. I'm not alone in the studio. Of course, I have my revered analyst with me. You know him, you know his name, and you will be hearing his voice right about now. In case you're just joining me, stick around. It's about to get it's just really about to get interesting. I have with me in the studios today, as usual, Mr. Peter Anosike, a philosopher, a development economist, journalist, and a best-selling author. In case you don't know, he's the author of Dangote's The 10 Commandments and Money, the book that was rated as one of the best development books in the world by the Wall Street Journal. And here in Nigeria, it was adopted as a workbook for grooming entrepreneurs by the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMIDAN, which is a federal government agency in charge of small and medium-scale businesses in the country. Welcome to the conversation, Mr. Anosike.
Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure to have you here. Let's begin with the very first topic now. Fresh bill seeks the creation of 3 more states in the Southwest. My question is short, really. Why the Southwest? Why not maybe 3 states in the Southwest, or maybe after the Southwest they'll now go to the Southeast and create 3 more states. Then from there they'll go to the Northeast and create 3 more states. We might end up having almost 48 or 50 states in the country, since everyone is trying to just get more states in the different regions.
Well, that's a height of impunity. I have said it over and over that we are in the era of impunity. Understand? This is the height of insensitivity for somebody to think of creating additional 3 more states in the Southwest, because by the composition of the country, only Southeast has 5 states, others have 6, and the Northwest have 7. Understand me? So now giving Southwest 3 more states, and the man was not even frank enough to say that 1 or 2 should go to the Southeast. Understand me? So this is what they call politics of winner takes it all. So because a Yoruba man is now the president of the country, they'll be giving 3 more states, making it 9.
Is that what he really is? Is that what he really is? You're saying because a Yoruba man is now the president,
why didn't he
more Southwestern states?
That man was in the assembly in 2015 and 2019. Why didn't he bring that bill at that point in time? Understand me? Why did he wait for the power to go to the Southwest for now that to bring in a request for 3 more states, which means they will now be having 9 states? Understand me? Then Northwest will be having 7.
What you're saying is, are you saying that you expect the bill to be considered and to probably be signed into law? Because if it ends up not being considered, then to have just been
exercising footing. If it's sensitive, he shouldn't have bring it at all. Understand me? People are requesting for an additional state for the Southeast. If there's any need for state now, it should be for the Southeast states, because they have only 5. Understand me? South has 6. Southwest has 6.
The question would be, this compilation or this combination of more states, does this strengthen the region? Does this strengthen the power of people? Because it's the people who are already there that you are dividing and then saying, okay, you know what? It's like when you form, let's say a state like Ebonyi from Abia and Enugu, the people already live there. You're just now naming their portion of land a different name.
You don't understand how this works. Jigawa was created from Kano State. Understand? Then Jigawa and Kano has 14 local governments. Understand? And Lagos has 20 recognized. That allocation is given through the local governments. When you have states, you have a local government which the federal will recognize and begin to give allocations to.
So the more local governments you have, the more your allocations.
The more your allocations. Now, Kano State was created out of Jigawa State. Understand? 40. Then Jigawa was carved out of Kano State, and today Jigawa has 37 local governments from the same Kano State.
That is to say, all of this is a strategy for more federal allocation.
But that is it. So now Jigawa and Kano has 77 local governments. Understand me? Jigawa and Kano states, just one state before, now have 77 local governments. So this is a way of sharing the commonwealth. More states, more commonwealth to the states. Understand? So my concern is, this man, if he has conscience, he shouldn't have thought of an additional state for the southwest, while southeast has not gotten any. That's my concern.
Now, the reason why you keep harping on the southeast is because, according to you, it's
they have just
the
5
region with the lowest number of states.
They have the lowest number of states, 5. Southwest has 6, and this man is proposing an additional 3 for his own that already have 6, and no mention of the southeast. Understand? That shows insensitivity on the part of whoever brought that bill to the National Assembly, even though it is not going to see the light of the day. Understand?
You don't actually expect it to.
No. Even if they drink all the beer in Nigerian breweries, it cannot pass, because the North has more in the Senate, the North has more in the House of Representatives.
They will not allow it.
Once nothing is coming for them, they will not allow it. So saying that they were going to list it, they will list it, but it will be shut down. But my concern is the consciousness of the person that wants to introduce that bill.
Okay, so the problem now is even thinking about it.
Even thinking about it shows insensitivity on his own part. I know that there's nothing will make that bill to be passed. If there's any state in the any part of the country that needs more state, it is southeast.
But who would vie for that?
No, people have been asking for it, but the truth is that it's not easy to create a state under the civil government, because it has to go to the two-thirds of the National Assembly, and two-thirds of the state houses of assembly must pass it. Understand me? And the North still has more. So anything that does not benefit them will not see the light of the day.
So this time around, it's not about whether or not it's in the interest of the nation. It's about benefit.
It's the interest of the Southwest. Understand me?
Okay.
And I don't see them pushing it, because even if they push it through the National Assembly, they cannot push it through the state houses of assembly. Understand? There's no argument that can give Southwest additional state at this point in time.
Okay, so it's not about whether the proposition is a good or a bad one. It's just that you don't see it passing through either the national or the state houses of assembly.
That's, even if I'm to advise, I will say that some of the states should merge.
So we should have less states,
because most of the states are not viable.
When you say some of the states should merge, would you expect the southeast states to also do the same?
Some states that are not viable should merge. Understand me? Why have you states that cannot feed itself? Now they are talking of state police. When you get to state police, how are they going to be paid? Some governors are not paying the workers in their states. How are they going to pay the state police when it comes into being? So in the country today, not up to 15 states are viable. Then why are you keeping things that are not viable? Why are not keeping states that are not making profits? Why are you keeping states that are not self-sustaining? Understand me? So instead of creating more states, my proposition should be that some of the states should merge. But politicians will not allow it, because more states means more governors. Understand? More senators, more House of Reps, more state assembly, more civil servants.
Literally more people in power.
And mind you, PDP said that it is only in Nigeria that civil servants are richer than entrepreneurs. Only in Nigeria that civil servants are richer than entrepreneurs. So and that's what you get when they begin to create all these states. That's more money to the civil servants, more money to the politicians. Because these are the two people that corruption favors, the civil servants and the politicians. Corruption does not favor an entrepreneur. Understand me? So the issue, instead of creating more states, so some of the states should merge, because a lot of them are not viable. A lot of states are not viable. Then why creating things that are not viable? So, but my concern is the man should have a repent of soul. Understand? he should go.
You're advising him to repent.
Because
even thinking about this.
For thinking about that, the mind that thought about that thing is an evil mind.
Okay. Sanosuke, you know we have quite a lot to discuss today, right? Let's talk about going back to the farms. It would seem that people who pass through secondary and primary school and were taught agricultural science, right? Most of the time it was theoretical, not really practical. But then there are people who have gone through, there are people who grew up in the village. The presidency is saying youth should be ready to go back to the farm. Nigeria can feed itself. There is no need for food importation. They're saying this was after the meeting that the president had with governors in Aso Villa in Abuja on Thursday. Now, after the meeting, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, came out to say that the president, the Nigerian government is not considering food importation at all. So they're not allowing food, at least some certain food, through our borders, that we are self-sufficient to feed ourselves. If we are this self-sufficient, like they say, how come people are still this hungry? If we are as self-sufficient as they say, how come our rice is selling for so much? Right? If we are self-sufficient as they say, how come the standard of living of people have dropped, or how the cost of living keeps going higher and higher? Because how can a hungry person be selling even the little food he has? They say we want to become a net exporter of food items to other countries where we never chop belly food.
Well, for me, these people are so removed from the reality on the ground. Understand? They are far removed. Nigerians are not averse to farming. Understand? Nigerian youths are hardworking. Nigeria has one of the most enterprising youth in the world, people who are ready to work, but there's no enabling environment. Understand? Now, and what they are talking is theory, no practice. You are telling youth to go to the farm. Which farm? They have not tackled the insecurity. Understand? So any youth that is going to the farm is going to get killed. Understand me? Because herdsmen has taken over the farmlands. Herdsmen have taken over the forest. Where are they going to farm? I have said it over and over. When Tinubu declared the state of emergency on agriculture, I say, first of all, go and address the issue of insecurity. All the youths that are driving Okada in Lagos here are farmers in the north. But Boko Haram, ISWAP, bandits has driven them out of their farms. That's why they are riding Okada in the south. You have not addressed the issue. You are not telling them to go back to the farm. Well, for them to go back to the farm, you have to give them guns and bullets. Understand me? He has to give them guns and bullets if you really want them to go back to the farm, because there are armed people waiting for them in those farms. So for me, we should be serious for once. We should try to be serious for once. It's not this is the age we are now is no more the age of rhetorics. It's not the age of making fanciful statements. It's not the age of quotable quotes. This is the reality on the ground. Nigerians are suffering. Nigerians are going through economic hardship that need to be addressed. Understand? and the president say we cannot import. For me, we need to import.
But why do you think they are so averse to importation? Because that may be at least a short-term reprieve for the hunger Nigerians are facing at the moment.
Well, maybe they want Nigerians to suffer more. Understand me?
Is there any government that will really set out to make its citizens suffer? Can we take it as that's the best economic or food policy they know to implement at this point? And finally,
you say if there's any government that wants its people that to suffer,
sets out to make its people suffer.
Nigerian government wants its people that to suffer.
Is it just this present administration? Or
that is why they can give themselves 160 million naira jeep. Why they cannot pay 30,000 naira minimum wage? What does that mean? The 70 billion that they shared to the National Assembly was 223 million naira for each person. 223 million naira for each person. Why those that they are representing are going to bed without food? What does that mean? Those in Abuja want their people to be suffering. There's no other two ways about it. There's no other two ways about it. One, government is the happiness of the greater number of people. That's what we know government to be. The happiness of the greater number of people in a country. There's no way everybody will be happy. But as a leader, you should be thinking of the happiness of the greater number of people. If you are not doing this, then you are not supposed to be in government. Understand? So Nigeria, something drastic, and I'll tell you, government must import that food. Watch it.
You are saying that they would later go.
They must import that food because they don't have any alternative. Sultan of Sokoto has said it that they can no longer control the youth in their states. Understand? That the youth in their states are ready to go to the streets. So they must import that food, and importing that food does not make them weak. Understand?
If it doesn't, then why not just do it in the interim? Why not do it in the beginning?
This is ego trip. This is what they call selfish pride.
Okay, a way to make it seem, we are in control.
Understand me? But you're not in control. You cannot be in control of the power of supply and demand. It is a market force. You cannot be in control of market force when you are not producing anything.
So this thing where we have them going to warehouses and saying, okay, people are hoarding food and food items, and then locking up warehouses, and then saying they want to start determining prices of food items. I mean, would that work? Is that the best approach for it?
No, Tinubu has said that he's not ready to bring a price control board back, which is a good one. Understand? Because if you want to bring it back, you want to kill business owners. You want to kill importers. Business is you sell as you buy. That is business. If you buy cheap, you sell cheap. If you buy high, you sell high. Understand me? I cannot buy an Android phone for 100,000 naira and I sell it to you at 80,000 naira. It means you want me to go out of that business. You are not.
It should not be done like this, insisting that we will not import, rather we will export. What do we have at this point right now? At this point of hunger, what does Nigeria have that we can export to other countries?
The only thing that they can export is what they are exporting: crude oil. Understand?
We are not ready to export food.
Dangote is even importing crude from the United States. Understand? Because they were sending our crude in advance. So Dangote is even importing crude from abroad. So you cannot export when you are not producing. So saying that we can export, that we have the capacity to feed ourselves and export while farmers are not farming. So what are you going to export?
It would seem that this is a way to make the international community seems that look at it that all is well in Nigeria.
No, the international community know more about Nigeria than me and you that are staying in this country. Understand me? They know the embassies are sending reports to their countries on a daily basis. Understand me? So they know what's going on in the country.
Okay then, right now on the recap, we'll be moving on to our very next topic, which is the NLC declaring a nationwide protest over hardship in the country. Now, the NLC has said it will embark on a 2-day nationwide protest from February 27 to 28 over what they called the mounting economic hardship and insecurity in the country. Now, when I was taking these headlines earlier, Mr. Amoske, I did that. It was a very short poem. They used to sing to us in primary school. Then it was like TikTok goes the clock. What you have to do quick, right? February 27 is in 10 days from now. Anytime the NLC wants to embark on any action, whether downing tools, whether strike, whether protest, they seem to always give a long time margin. It's as if they're giving the federal government time, like, do something. We really don't want to do this, and we're hoping that you can actually do something so that we don't end up doing this. Is that the situation here?
Well, that's what the international ILO law says. Understand? Now, if you are negotiating, if you want to take action, you should explore every means. Understand? That to make sure that you will not be found wanting. NLC is like CBN. It's not a one-man show. Before a decision is taken, all the executives from different parts of the country will have that to meet. And when you take a decision, you have to give the government some time. Understand? This is what we are going to do. But it's not our wish to do it. So do something. If not, we'll carry on with what we want to do. Because according to ILO, protest becomes the last option, not the first option. Protest is the last option. That when every negotiations has failed.
So the NLC is actually going about it the right way.
So NLC is doing. They cannot just they met yesterday on Monday they declare strike. No, they should give the government some time to address this issue. It is only when federal government fail to address it that they can now say, let us go on a protest. So they are taking it the way it should. They are taking it the way it should. But even though that some people would die before that 27th.
Due to what reason?
Due to hunger, understand? Some people are definitely going to die before that 27.
And then there is also the possibility that it may end up non-holding, because this is not the first time that the NLC is declaring a protest. And then there was this time they declared a protest last year, and we came out the next day and everywhere was open in Lagos.
Because Lagos cannot protest because the president is from here. Understand me? So sentiment is one of the things that is killing this country. I will not protest because my uncle is the president. Not forgetting that 4 years is not 40 years. Understand me? Forgetting that 4 years is not 40 years. That your uncle that is the president within 48 months power will shift. Understand me? Then you now begin to face what you protected. Because they say that an evil that anybody defend or protects will come back to haunt him or his children.
Okay then, you're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We're discussing issues that made the major headlines during the week, and we still have so much more to go. At about 5 p.m. the phone lines will be open so that we can hear your thoughts on all of the different issues that we're discussing. Let's move over to former spokesperson over Vice President former Vice President Yemi Osibanjo. That's Laolu Akonde saying Tinubu bears a heavier burden than Buhari when it comes to the APC's broken promises. Yes. Now, he is saying there's been broken promises on the part of the ruling party, but then the present administration and the incumbent president is bearing a much more heavier burden than Buhari. And the question is, what does that even mean? When you are the one in power, whenever anything goes wrong, of course you're the one who will ask. When there is a problem with a department, of course as the head of department, you ask what is going on in your department, what is going on in your region, what's going on in your state, what is going on in your country. If something happens in a state, you expect the president to call up on the governor and say, diffuse the situation, look at it this way, what is going on, we need situation reports. When the blast occurred in Oyo State in Ibadan, Governor Ijeoma Egwuatu went to the presidency and submitted the report, right? So when he's talking about, oh yes, there's been broken promises on the part of the APC, Tinubu bears heavier burden than Buhari. I mean, where's he even going with that?
Well, for me, I commend him for at least being honest, because he was part of the Buhari government. He served under Oshibajo between 2015 and 2023. So he was honest enough to admit that APC broken promises. Understand? He said that the change that they brought in 2015, that Nigerians did not see any change. Understand me? That people that the burden is now on Buhari, on Tinubu, for Nigerians to see that change. So he is now pushing it to Buhari, to Tinubu. Understand me? That under their own dispensation, Nigeria did not see that change that they ran with, which was their manifesto. Change, understand me? But those of us then knew that it was a mere propaganda, mere slogan, mere deception.
So you personally weren't expecting any change?
Before you change anything, you have to change yourself. Change starts with you, not with anybody. Understand me? Before you can improve on anybody, before you can improve on anything, you have to improve yourself. So the person that's come to bring that agent of change has not changed. Understand me? Buhari, who was pioneering that change, has not changed. His mentality remained the same. Understand me? Look, the mind with which you cause a problem must not be the mind with which you will solve it. Understand me? That is what Nigerians don't know. The mind that you use to cause a problem must not be the mind that you want to use to change it. To solve that problem, you need a change of mind. Understand? That's how it works. But Nigeria will use one mind, cause a problem, and want to use that mind to correct that problem. There's no improvement in you.
You're saying it doesn't work that way.
It has never worked and will not work. So we know that Tinubu and Buhari cannot effect any change. For me, I knew. Understand? I knew because I know him too well. And those that criticize me that time, understand, and all of them have had their fingers burnt. Understand me? So now we continue. So Akande is saying that change that is now Tinubu that will have to effect it. And Tinubu also agreed when he said that he will continue from where Buhari stopped, which means that change is still on. Understand me? That is why he called his own renewed hope. Understand? The hope that did not manifest under Buhari is going to manifest in his own. Do you understand? Because it is still the same APC government. So, but that renewed hope has unfortunately turned to renewed suffering. So the suffering that people started feeling in Buhari own has now been renewed by Tinubu. Understand me? So that's Akande is doing like one. I'm happy for him for admitting that it is a broken promises. But shifting the responsibility is what I'm not happy about. you have 8 years and you wasted 8 years. Understand me? And for me, Tinubu inherited a weakened economy from Buhari. So the problem that Tinubu is having now started from Buhari. If Buhari has managed the economy well, what is happening now would not have been happening. But the economy has been so bad, so battered, so bastardized before Tinubu came on board. So we are still having the mismanagement of Buhari. Understand me? But the issue is that what Tinubu should have done to stop this free fall, he didn't do it.
Now, what is it that he could have done to stop the free fall, like in your own opinion? Because, like you said, they are shifting the goalposts. It's as if they are shifting blame. It's as if they
are pushing responsibility. That's Nigeria for you.
It's as if they are going back, and now nobody can call Buhari to ask him any question.
But that's Oshoman every day is hitting on him. Sanusi is hitting on him.
It's hard to blame the previous administration than to actually, set the ball rolling and do what you can to make the country better, to correct their mistakes. Or is it a case of I didn't make the mistakes and I can't correct it?
No, the issue is, the way our brain is wired, human beings find it difficult to admit their mistakes. Human beings find it difficult to accept responsibilities. Even from the Bible, when God asked Adam, why did you eat that fruit? Instead of saying, I'm sorry, he said it was Eve. Understand me? That's pushing that thing now to Eve. Eve, why did you deceive your husband? It was the serpent. So that's the way human brains are wired. So it is only a great mind, it's only a higher incarnate that can say, yes, I made mistake and I'm going to correct it. Understand? So
it's in human nature to shift the goalposts and to shift blames.
To push responsibilities.
So when he talks about this heavier burden, what exactly do you think is a heavier burden? Is it leading or ruling Nigerians, or the burden of making the right economic policies to actually make life better for Nigerians? Because like I said before, if anything goes wrong, it's the president that will call.
The buck stops at the table of the president. Understand me? Whatever happens, our number one image maker now is the president. If something happens in America, it is Biden. Understand me? If it's in France, it is Macron. Understand me? Just as you mentioned the explosion in
Ibadan
or your state, Tinubu have to call Makinde what is happening in your state. Understand? When the school children were kidnapped in Ekiti, Tinubu has to call the governor of Ekiti what is happening in your state, because they are the number one in all those states. So in the country, our number one is Tinubu. Understand? So the heavier burden he was talking about is that what they could not achieve, understand, it's now there for Tinubu to achieve it, because the responsibility is now on his shoulder. You see it? So that's what he meant by the Tinubu now bears the heavier burden.
Okay then.
But if they has done well, Tinubu would not have been going through what he is going at this point in time. Because under PDP, the economy was suffering from malaria. Understand? Under Buhari, the economy began to suffer cancer. Understand? Then that cancer, before it gets to Tinubu, has now gotten to stage 4. So the disease has spread to the other organs of the body. Understand?
So it's as if the more it's left unchecked, the worse it was.
It has gotten worse. Understand me? It has gotten worse. So that's why we are not seeing any answers. because that malaria has turned to 4th degree cancer.
All right, then one more topic to go, and we'll be opening the phone lines at exactly 5 p.m. so that you can also share your thoughts and your own opinions with us on the recap this evening. My name is Ijeoma Innocent. Keep listening. The recap continues. So, IMF confirms return of petrol subsidy under Tinubu. The International Monetary Fund (IMF) had said the Nigerian government had, through the back door, resumed the payment of subsidies on PMS, that's premium motor spirit, otherwise known as petrol. Now, you recall that on May 29 last year, during his inaugural speech, President Tinubu had announced an end to petrol subsidy, and this had actually triggered a hike in the prices of goods and services in the country, beginning with the cost of petrol itself. We literally bought petrol for one price one day and woke up, and that was on May 29, right? I woke up on May 30th and it was a different price. Now, the IMF has issued a statement saying there was a conclusion from its executive board post-financing assessment with Nigeria, and it expressed concerns that the government had capped the prices of fuel at retail stations. Now, it has advised the administration of President Tinubu to completely stop the payment of subsidies on petrol to free funds to run the government. One, Sanosuke, I actually have a few questions on this. Is this good advice that the IMF is giving to the president, saying completely stop the payment of subsidies? When that happens, we may be buying fuel for up to 1,000 naira per litre, right? Can we afford that with the current situation of the country right now? One would think that there is a way the country will be, and people will not actually mind buying fuel for 1,000 naira per litre. Also, we already have the whole promise of the Dangote refinery also doing its refining. Then, when it says to free funds to run the government, knowing the Nigerian government and not just this administration, when those funds are free, will this actually be used to run the government?
Well, we have said, I have said it in this program many months ago, that government is paying subsidy. The truth is that if they are not paying subsidy, fuel will have been selling between 1,300 to 1,400 at this moment.
Not even 1,000 naira.
If they are not paying subsidy, fuel will have been selling at 1,300, 1,400. I said that government is paying subsidy even before NUPENG and TUC confirmed it. Understand me? I said it before TUC and NUPENG confirmed it. IMF is just a few days ago. So they started paying this subsidy not many months back. And there's no way they can roll without paying this subsidy, because if you leave this thing to market forces, understand? If you shoot a gun in America, there will be inflation in Nigeria. If you throw a bomb in Iran, there will be inflation in Nigeria. Because why? We are economic dependent on the Western world. Understand? We are an import dependent economy. So whatever happened abroad, what is not supposed to concern us is concerns us, because why? We are not producing, we are not exporting. So we are at the receiving end of whatever is happening in Europe, America, and Asia. So there's no way they can stop paying the subsidy. Understand? So and for advice of IMF, World Bank, and WTO are what we call imperialist agents. Understand? They are just like the FDI. Understand me? So this FDI, when Tinubu goes that is going to bring foreign direct investment, understand? Foreign direct investors are not coming to help Nigeria. They are coming to make money for themselves and their country. Understand me? IMF is not working for Africa, it is working for Europe and America. So they will always encourage policies that will make Europe and America better. World Bank will always encourage policies that will make America and Europe better. Understand? So countries that want to develop don't listen to IMF, they don't listen to World Bank. India, Singapore, Malaysia, Brazil, they developed without listening to IMF. And how do you develop? Shut your country from outside interference.
So how does the removal of fuel subsidy in Nigeria or not affect, like you said, Europe and the other parts of the Western world?
The whole economy is understand me, the removal of the subsidy, understand, is for the interest of the West. Understand me? It is more money for them. Understand me? But suffering in Nigeria, and that's how IMF works. It's just like WTO. This is a World Trade Organization. It is an enemy of Africa. If you are not a manufacturing country, you don't have to join the WTO. But Obasanjo pushed us into WTO. And WTO, what has Africa benefited? When you go to China to import a container of goods, China will send their own 10 containers to Nigeria. Understand? They will bring down the prices. You cannot sell that container that you brought. They will run you out of the market. That's how China is now controlling most of the economies in Africa, because they stupidly joined the WTO. If you are assigned to WTO, it means that any member country have the right to move their goods into your country. Understand me? That if you are not a producing country, if you are not a manufacturing country, they can move their goods into your country, but you cannot move anything to their own country. They are winning. Understand me? You are understand? So all these are imperial agencies that are suffocating Africa. Understand? So, but the truth is, even in the United States, understand, Britain, everywhere, subsidy is practiced in different areas. If there's no subsidy, then there's no government. Understand me? If there's no subsidy, there should be no government. Government is meant to make life better for its citizens, and one of the ways of making it better is through subsidy. Understand me? Now they are talking of not subsidizing electricity. Understand? That's what they are talking now, that they should remove a subsidy from electricity. Then why do we have government? Why do we vote for people every 4 years when they cannot make our life better? So every country in the world, there are subsidy in different areas. Understand me? Every country in the world is paying subsidy for one or two things. Government must pay subsidy, and government must continue to pay subsidy. Understand me? Because government is not to create hardship. Understand? What government does is to create enabling environment for business to move on. Understand me? Just like a tax holiday is a form of subsidy. Understand me? Giving tax holiday is a subsidy. Giving business incentive is subsidy. So there are different kinds of subsidy being practiced in all the countries in the world.
And these are like ways of, let's say,
government encouraging people. Citizens. Understand me? Government, but IMF can never give any country in Africa a good advice, because that's not what it was set out for.
So now that they are telling the Nigerian government to fully remove subsidy, you're saying it's not a good advice in the interest of Nigerians?
It is never in the interest of what we are suffering now. One, subsidy is bad. Understand? subsidy is bad.
What actually makes it bad?
Because it's benefiting only a few people. Understand me? It is benefiting only a few people. It is benefiting only, not up to 1% of the Nigerian population is benefiting from this subsidy. Understand me?
Okay, then. We have come to that point where it's time for you to call in, and we'll take your calls right here on the recap. The number to call is 0700 903 903 903. 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. I can see your messages coming in on our WhatsApp platforms already, so do keep them coming. I can also see your comments on our YouTube platforms. Do keep them coming. If you would rather send a message to our WhatsApp platform, it is to 0700 903 9039. 0700 903 9039. 0700 903 9039. That is the WhatsApp number to call in. It's 0700 903 903 903. I anticipate your calls. Who's my first caller of the evening? Good evening and welcome to the recap. Please turn down the volume on your radio set. Hello.
Hello.
Please turn down the volume on your radio set.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Ralph, calling from Satellite Town.
Welcome, Ralph. Please turn on the volume on your radio set when you call in. All right.
I think I'll go down.
Please. Thank you so much. All right. Go right ahead.
There is something I want to understand about this subsidy of a thing.
All right.
I want Mr. Anosik to help me to explain this. When few people were benefiting this so-called subsidy, how are we getting the product cheap? But now that the government claimed that they've removed the subsidy, the products are now, we're finding it difficult to get, and those things are more worse. To me, as a human being, how people benefit, and for me to get the product cheap and things get better, that the government to claim that they're removing subsidy, but we are suffering more on that government that removed the subsidy. I want to understand this, because there's something behind this. Well done.
Thank you so much. He needs your explanation. I think when we talk about subsidy, all people know is that once subsidy is removed, things become more expensive. I think we just want that layman's explanation of what
subsidy is. Now, something that's supposed to be expensive, government will say, "I'll help you pay." Understand me? Maybe if a liter of fuel is to go for 200 naira, understand? Government can say, pay 100, we will pay 100. Understand? Which means government has now subsidized by 100 naira.
Now, when that happens, right? You spoke about how it benefits only a few. How then does this benefit only a few?
Because one, we don't know how much fuel we are using in the country. Understand me? They are banning 63 million liters a day. Understand me? 93 million liters a day. Understand me? So what this means that we don't know how much liters. So we don't know what we are paying for. Do you understand that?
Okay, when subsidy is paid, right? Who is it being paid to?
To the importers, to those that are bringing that product,
the refined product.
Understand me? To those that are bringing that refined products, understand me? Just government is helping you to pay to make that product available for you. That's what that subsidy means. This is selling for 100 naira. 100 naira is too much. Pay 50. Government will pay 50. Understand me? But government don't know how many people that they are paying that thing for. So it is those in the oil business that is taking most of this money.
So the government ends up paying more than they should for this.
They are paying far more than they should. Understand me?
And that's the reason why it's being removed, so that the money being channeled into subsidy can be used for the good of the nation.
That's what's supposed to be unquote. but you can see that it's still going to private pockets.
So the money that was supposed to be used to pay for subsidy, now it's no longer being used. Like when they said, oh, we saved so amount of money from not paying subsidy for 1 or 2 or 3 months. We are not seeing that money being used for the good of Nigerians, like coming back into...
That's the complaint.
All right then. So if you were asking, what is the meaning of subsidy? What does it mean to remove subsidy? What does it mean to even have subsidy? There you have your explanation. 0700 903 903 903. Call me up. Remember, we have spoken about a lot of things, right? Let me remind you of everything we've spoken about today. So when you call me, pick 1 or 2 of these issues and talk on it, all right? Today, there is no room for generalization. Yes, we know the economy is bad. Yes, we know that food is expensive. Yes, we know people are hungry. Yeah, we know. Yes, we know that rice is expensive. We know that a derica of rice is expensive. A pint of gari is 2,000 naira. Yes, we know all of that. But we discuss specific issues today. Number 1, a House of Rep member is seeking a fresh bill to create 3 more states in the Southwest. Right? To create 3 more states in the Southwest. What do you think about that? Is it a good idea? The states would be Ogun, Ijebu, and the Ijesha state. So if you're from Ijebu in Ogun state, would you like to have your own state? Right? If they ask where you're from, so I'm from Ijebu state, not Ogun state now, right? Because you know Ijebu is under Ogun state. Would you rather want to have your own state? Because the House of Reps member is saying, let's create 3 more states in the Southwest. What do you think about that? So I'd like your comments to be on the particular issues we're discussing today. Now that was the very first topic. We also spoke about youths should be ready to go back to the farm. Nigeria can feed itself. There is no need for food importation, according to the president and of course the Minister of Information and National Orientation. What do you think about going back to the farms? What do you think about getting into farming for self-sustenance so that you can get food to eat and stop complaining to the government, because they're saying, look, it's not good to complain about food and tell us to maybe open the borders and tell us to import food. Go back to the farms and you will no longer be hungry. So I'd like to get your opinion on that. We also spoke about the NLC declaring nationwide protest over hardship. The protest is to happen from February 27 to February 28. I asked the question, why so far? Mr. Nazuke explained that the International Labour Organization, ILO, says you can't just jump into a protest. You have to give the government time to respond to your demands, right? So NLC nationwide protest, what do you think about that? Also, we looked at Afenifere saying we should blame Buhari and Emefiele for the current economic hardship in Nigeria, and we should not blame President Tinubu. He inherited a bad economy, right? I'd like you to also speak on that. Then still on the blaming Buhari, Laolu Akonde is saying, who is a former spokesman of former Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, he said that yes, we know that APC has given Nigeria so many broken promises, but right now President Tinubu is bearing a heavier burden than Buhari ever did. I'd like you to speak on that. And finally, the IMF has confirmed the return of petrol subsidy under President Tinubu. Now, these 6 topics that we're looking at there are broad topics, right? It's a plethora of topics. I'd like you to pick and speak on any one of these issues, okay? No generalization today. Please, 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 and please. 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. 0700 903 903 903. Call me up. Good evening. Welcome to the recap.
Hello.
Hi. What's your name and location, please?
Hello.
Hi. Good evening. Welcome to the recap.
Hello.
0700 903 903 903 on WhatsApp at 0700 903 9039. I can see your comments on our YouTube platforms. Do keep them coming to the 101 people watching us on YouTube. Thank you so much. You are the reason why we are here. So give me a call. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Hello.
Hi. What's your name and location, please?
I'm calling from Otta.
Hello there.
Calling from Otta.
Yes. What's your name?
I'm Farouk.
All right. Let's hear from you, sir.
Yeah, I want to correct the speaker. Cannot have for the post government, not for the local government.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead. I didn't hear the last thing you said actually.
I said cannot have for
local government. Thank you so much.
44. Okay. Thank you. All right, 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. I'm waiting right here to pick your calls. Welcome to the conversation. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi there. What's your name and location, please?
My name is Anthony. I'm coming from Mafoluku.
Welcome, Anthony. Let's hear from you.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, yes.
You are creating more space. When the one you have not secured it. Is that a sensible thing? That is my contribution.
Thank you so much. Short, concise, and straight to the point. I love that. 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. Good evening. Welcome to the recap.
Hello?
Hi there. What's your name and location, please?
Hello?
I can hear you. What's your name and location, please?
Hello?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Give me a call back. Send me a message on WhatsApp. Fun fact, you can also call us on WhatsApp, 0700 903 9039. We do receive some calls on our WhatsApp line sometimes, but the phone number will not go through, obviously. But you can give us a call through WhatsApp if you're having issues connecting with the phone lines. Welcome to the conversation. Good evening. Are you there? Welcome to the recap. Good evening. 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. I can see your messages on our WhatsApp platform, so do keep them coming. I can also see your messages coming in, your comments rather, on our YouTube platforms, so do keep them coming. Welcome to the conversation. Good evening.
Hello?
Hi, what's your name and location, please? Hi, I can hear you.
Hello?
I can hear you. What is your name and location, please? All right, I'll implore you to give me a call back. I don't know what's going on with the network. 0700 903 903 903. Like I said, we have quite a bit to discuss, and I definitely want to hear from you. A voice of the people, after all. You are the reason we are here. Now you have a voice. I want to hear your voice. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Turn down the volume on your radio set, please. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, what's your name and location, please?
Hello.
I can hear you. What's going on?
Hello.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I can hear you.
Hello,
can you
can
hear
you
me?
hear me?
Sure, yes, I can hear you.
Oh. Hello.
Oh, this is so sad. So sad. I don't know what's going on, but yes, if you call in, I assure you I can hear you. All right, I can hear you. Just go right ahead, tell us your name and your location, and let's hear your opinion, right? Welcome to the conversation. Good evening. Please turn down the volume of your radio set. Come on.
Hello.
Turn down the volume of your radio set.
Hello.
Hi. Good evening.
How are you?
I'm very well. I can still hear myself. Please, off your radio.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Hello.
You're still listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Ijeoma Innocent. I am your host, and when you call in, I can hear you. Okay, please go right ahead. Let's have your name and your location. Yes, I can hear you. I assure you I can hear you perfectly well. Even if you cannot hear me, I can hear you. Let's go right ahead and have your opinion. All right, then 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. Call me up. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Hello.
Welcome to the recap. Please turn on the volume of your radio set.
Hello.
0700 903 903 903. We seem to be having issues with the phone line. You can call me through WhatsApp. All right. The WhatsApp line will definitely not go through via direct call, but you can call me via WhatsApp. Okay. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Good evening.
What's your name and location, please?
Now.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
They are saying that people should go back to farm. Has they secured the farm? Why are our people doing like this? Secure it before you can tell people to go to farm, so that they will go and kill them again. Hey, I'm tired though.
Okay, said what he has to say. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Please turn down the volume on your radio set.
Hello?
Please off your radio.
Hello?
Call me on WhatsApp, all right? 0700 903 9039. Like, you can call me through the app. Just initiate a WhatsApp voice call and I'll take your call, okay? Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Hello there. Good evening.
Hello?
Welcome to the recap. What's your name and location, please?
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to the recap.
Hello?
Call me via WhatsApp. You know what? Let's just take WhatsApp calls. As it is right now. I don't know what's going on with the network, but it's quite frustrating. Call me via WhatsApp and let's have a conversation. 0700 903 9039. That is a WhatsApp line. You can send me a hi. Call me via WhatsApp. Initiate a voice call via WhatsApp. Okay? Cheat code. Really. Cheat code. Call me up. I definitely want to hear from you. 0700 903 903 903. Thank you so much for adhering to what it is. Welcome to conversation. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi.
My name is Mrs. Thomas.
Welcome, Mrs. Thomas. Please go ahead. I can hear you. Please go ahead.
To talk on the subsidy removal.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say they have to return it. It has really caused Nigeria harm. So return is a good plan. Thank you.
Okay, simple, short, and straight to the point. Thank you, Mrs. Thomas, for your own submission and your suggestion. Mrs. Thomas is saying, we don't even want to hear, we don't even want to understand whatever it is you're explaining. Just return the subsidy and let Nigerians, let things just go back to the way it was. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
What's your name and location, please?
This is Arivido speaking.
Welcome. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, please, I want to take your listen to the knowledge that what is happening at this morning. Are you aware the protest about the cut? Are you aware?
In Otta today.
Yes, Otta today. Yes, are you aware?
What's the protest about?
About the food scarcity, the hardship. The thing is going very, very drastically.
So you now, would you like the government to actually import food? Because they're saying they will not import food. Do you think that they need to actually do that?
It's better let this man open border for us. People are dying. Let it open border. Let it open border. People are dying. Hungry everywhere. No food. The skyrocket of price, maize, gari and so on and so forth. It's getting out of hand because even though I'm not from the northern states, they are eating leaves now as per what the guy is saying. They are eating leaves. Like this is turning to anarchy. It's going to anarchy. The better save us. Tinubu better save the country. They better for this man. Why is it doing like this? Everybody thought that the Tinubu they do something, but now see what he's doing. People are dying every day. Innocent people, getting of blood. Thank you. You are welcome.
Thank you so much. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Yeah, hello. Good evening, Choma. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. What's your name and location, please?
My name is Tony Chubod. Mr. Masika, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, so Joma, straight to the point. I don't know why Africa in general is still patronizing this big shop that is called the IMF and the World Bank. In the history, I have never seen, I don't think any African has been the head of this World Bank and IMF. That thing has crippled the African economy. All these big world organizations, they do nothing. They are made there to destroy Africa, and we are still listening to them. We are still going, buying their products. Then coming to the issue of the creating of states and the Kaduna has having 40 local governments. Look at the
Kanu.
That's
Kanu. Sorry,
44 local governments.
44 local governments. So look at Lagos. Look at other states. Is it not the way the system has been manipulated? The same thing is happening in the Catholic community. The North have more dioceses than the South. If you do it North and South, it's recently they started creating more dioceses in the South. So which side have population than the other? Are we creating all this based on the land mass or the people? Then coming to the issue of farming, the youth should go back to the farm. That has to do with the mentality. Before those people have to go, the young people have to go to the farm. The mentality has to change, because you can't come out and you are flashing money, nice cars, because you're a politician or something. That person that is farming also wants to drive those nice cars. In the Western world, farmers have nice cars, nice homes. They get it even cheaper as a farmer. So if a politician is riding SUV that he doesn't need for anything, it's the farmers that are supposed to be using those SUV, because they need to pull some of the things from the farm. In the Western world, some of them that live on the countryside, they are the one that use some of those type of cars. So the system has to change. You cannot tell a young man to go back to the farm when from that farm he can't even buy a mobile phone. So, and again, coming to the subsidy, the West is subsidizing the farmers, helping the farmers in so many ways, so that food can be on their table. So for the president to open up and say the youth has to go back to the farm, I'm sure he has children too. They're supposed to go back to the farm. I don't know which youth that he's referring to. And it's not, again, it's not everybody, it's not what you can be able to withstand, another person can be able to. There are some who, when they stand on that sun, if the sun hit them 2 times, they will just collapse there in the farm. And I thought that the president should put it in, or the government should put it in this way. Those who wants to go back to the farm or to the village and farm, look at what we can help you with. And people will move. There are people who can sacrifice and get that and go and farm. And again, let there be electricity, because you cannot farm and produce something and those things will rotten on the road. I'm sure the season we are in now is mango season. Very soon the mangoes, all of them will ripe. When you are passing some places, you will see all of them rotten on the road, because you can't preserve them. But we keep on importing juice when we have mangoes there.
Thank you, Mr. Tony. Thank you so much for your contribution. It is greatly appreciated. 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. Call me up. We're Voice of the People. We definitely want to hear from you. Hello, are you there? Hello there. All right, call me up. 0700 903 903 903.
Choma, the issue is going back to the farms. Are the farms secured? Is it where somebody can go? That's the first question.
Another thing is,
are the farms secured?
Their full-time jobs and then go and start farming.
Even if you are to do whatever you are going, is the farm secured? Have they secured it? That's the first question. The farms are not secured. You are just telling them go and be macheted by the herdsman, go and to be kidnapped by the bandits. Understand me? So they should first of all secure the farm. The farm should be habitable. Understand? They should secure the environment before now putting there must be incentives that will make use to go back to the farm. It's not just go back to the farm and people will just carry their cutlass and begin that to run. What is the motivation? What is the incentive? Understand? What makes the difference between a leader and another leader is knowing that every action has its own consequences. Nigerians think of only action, they don't think of the consequences. That's what is happening at the moment. Tinubu removed the subsidy. He didn't think of the consequences of his action. Understand me? So you cannot just say, hey, go to the farm and youth will be run and go to the farm. What are the motivating factors? What are the incentives that will make youth to go to the farm? Are the farms secured for them to go there? These are the vital questions.
Okay, so many questions to answer. Let's hear what you have to say. Welcome to the conversation. Good evening.
Yeah, Chima, good evening.
What's your name and location, please?
Joe from Bariga.
Welcome, Joe. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, Chima, you're talking about creation of new states, right?
Yes. A House of Reps member wants 3 more Southwest states to be created.
In the first place, there's so light in Lagos. We're in that place. So let me continue this way. The ones we created, we're not enjoying it, and we want to create another state. How come? For example, I come from Imo State. In Imo State, the governor will have their only 2 roads. The one leading to Olo and the one leading to Okigwe, from Owerri to Okigwe, and the one from Owerri to Olo. And then he's making noise all over the place that he has.
Hello, are you there? Hello, are you there? Oh dear, give me a call back. I definitely want to hear from you. Welcome to Voice of the People. Good evening. Hello, I've picked your call. Oh, good evening. All right.
Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Hello, how are you? My name is Austin Page from UK.
Welcome, Austin Page. I can see your comment on our YouTube platforms. Thank you for calling.
Yeah. Hello?
I'm with you.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, my 2 points. I think for Nigeria to move forward, 1, any country without electricity stability is amount to 0. Secondly, without a judiciary being in the right place, I mean, all this talk or whatever, nothing is going to work without those 2 major things, electricity and the judiciary. That is it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. That was so straight to the point. 0700 903 903 903. Call me up. We're having different conversations on the recap this evening. We're actually talking about the IMF saying that the government has secretly been paying subsidy. Is that something you believe? I want to hear from you. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Please turn down the volume on your radio set. Please turn down the volume on your radio set. All right.
Yes, I've done that already. Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and location, please?
Yes, my name is Paul. I'm calling from Lasso, Ojo.
Welcome, Paul. Let's hear from you.
Okay, thank you. So now I want to make a very sharp comment on issue of farm. Okay? Is only a stupid man or a man who does not mean in this country called Nigeria that the government in power can advise to go back to farm. If you want to advise anybody here in Nigeria to go back to farm, we have to take the lead. Let the government, they all have their own children, their own youths in their own respective homes. Let them bring out their own youths or their own children to lead us to the farm. Let all of us go to the farm together. The farm is not safe for us. For me and my fellow youths, I'm going to go back to. Let me tell you a story. Just a very brief one. Last 2 weeks, my in-law, I paid 12 million naira to bail him from the hands of kidnappers in Owerri State, in Imo State, in Owerri, precisely. 12 million naira.
Just this last week?
You understand? He was kidnapped. Okay, what was his offense? This man went to a very near village around Owerri. He bought some acres of land to start mechanized farming. He has finished building almost everything. Just some machines he got in to get that farm to start running. On his way going to the farm to install some parts of those machines, he was kidnapped. Just about 2 weeks ago. So is it the same farm we're going to go back to? Is it the same stupid farm someone is telling me to go back to?
Okay, language please.
See, the truth about this Nigeria is that Nigeria has collapsed. The government is not doing anything. From the century of democracy in this country, when they took over democracy, they call it a democratic government. Things have not been the same.
The military regime we have in this country is still better than what we are having today. It's called democracy. It's a nonsense democracy. We're not getting anything good from this democracy. Let them return back to the military regime. Let's not get to see anything good.
Okay. Now we know that's coming from a place of at the risk of sounding insensitive, and I promise you that's not what it is. We just have to be careful.
It's not easy to lose 12 million.
And with the fear of that your person may even be killed. All right, call me up 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. Mr. Joe calling all the way from Lasso. Joe, honestly, I can't say I feel your pain, but I understand what it means to live in insecurity. Mr. Noske, do you know, I got home, I think it was on Thursday evening, right? And I was informed that there was a kidnapping situation on my street where a young boy was kidnapped on the street where I live. Was kidnapped from a church.
So the truth is, nobody is safe anywhere in the country.
He was kidnapped from a church. His folks, his parents, everyone was in the church. It's like he came outside to buy something, and they picked him up and threw him in a car. And moved away.
Nowhere is safe in the country.
So now we've not heard anything.
So very soon, the family will hear that's of a ransom. Understand, under this critical condition. So Nigeria is now like Somalia. Understand, that's the best country I can describe. So it's unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
And so it would seem that, we're not letting people talk, but I promise you that's not the situation. Everything you think you're going through, forget that you're hearing my voice on the radio, I can totally relate with it. I can totally relate with it. But we have an NBC code, right? And there are certain things we cannot allow. It's not paper conversation, it's not newspaper stand conversation. You're talking on the media, so many people are hearing you. So when you come and say, that the democratic government can just go to hell, can just go and then let the military take over again, that's not something we can allow on the airwaves. But that being said, I feel your pain, and I am super duper grateful that your in-law is well, and I hope you'll have moved him from that location to somewhere where he will be able to get a better rest and at least let go of the PTSD of the whole situation. 0700 903 903 903. Call me up. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Thank you. Good evening.
What's your name and location, please?
Okay, I'm Victory, calling from Oshodi.
Welcome, Victory. Let's hear from you.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I'd like to commend your guest. He's very knowledgeable, and I like the points that he gave on the show. And
Thank you so much.
For my own input, concerning the fact that our present government are blaming the current situation of the economy on the past government, it's really not necessary. I mean, they knew what they were getting into before they even wanted to run for office. Some of their campaign promises were that they would correct the government, renewed hope, and said a whole lot of things to convince the people to vote them in. So it's not like they didn't know the state of the economy before they went into office. They still got into office, and then now they are saying that the policies of the past government had done is what is affecting us right now. That is just totally wrong, in my own opinion, and it's not necessary. And then coming into office and realizing that, okay, this is how the policies are, then your own new policies, do you think that they are good enough to reverse those bad policies that the previous government had instituted? I don't really think so. Take, for instance, the UK government. It's just 1% of their population that feeds the entire population. Just 1% of their population feeds the entire population, as compared to Nigeria. Okay, they want the whole of Nigerians to go back to the farm. I don't think that is possible.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your call. 0700 903 903 903. We're actually discussing a plethora of issues right here on the recap on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. You do know that this is the number one station that gives you a voice. I would definitely want to hear from you. Now you have a voice. Let's hear your voice. Hello there. Good evening.
Good evening.
What's your name and location, please?
I have called the Prime Minister Anthony. Please don't be annoyed.
All right, please go ahead.
Buhari and Tinubu, they are in the same circle, in the same party. Are you telling me that what they are doing, they don't do meeting together? They don't sit together. Tinubu cannot see Buhari anytime in life. So tell me, people are in the same circle, the same party. Tell me. Now he's complaining that maybe the other one has done this, has done that. Before he came in, you know what is on ground. No, in short, I'm tired of this country. This is I have enough money. I have to move out of this country because I don't think this country, the way they are doing things here, I'm so surprised. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anthony. 0700 903 903 903. We'll take two more calls and we'll call it today on the program. Let's hear from you. Good evening. Welcome to the recap. Hello, are you there?
Hello.
Hi, welcome to the recap. Good evening. I can hear you. Please go ahead. Hello there.
Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and location, please?
My name is XYZ. I'm calling from Manaba.
Okay, XYZ, let's hear from you.
The government of today should not tell us they don't know the fault is from the past administration. When you are campaigning, you know what is on ground. They have failed. They have failed the country. They have failed Nigerians. And it's high time we start telling ourselves the truth. We are civilized. We don't come from the sky. You cannot say that to the Western world. When you cannot look at the president come out open and said they don't know what to do. It is in the net, it is everywhere. That he knows that the cost of food has gone up. Everything, the cost of living is, they don't know what to do. He has failed. He should resign from the seat. Must he be there? Whoever that will make Nigeria work should come and take over. People are tired. Even though I know from my region, people are not crying. I'm talking about the eastern part of the country. You see people doing.
What makes you think people are not crying from there?
Of course, you should know yourself. Look, I will give you one typical example. There is no family in the eastern part of the country will not find a millionaire. Even if others don't have, they do what they call palliative. Look at Emeka for what Emeka did last week. Just for his birthday, he shared 220 bags to all Anambra communities. Every town in Anambra has collected 220 bags of rice, if not higher. This is a single person from Anambra State. We are not talking about other region, other part of the eastern region. Nobody can do that in the west here. Nobody can do that in the north. I bet you. They will be cooking rice. Listen, I'm coming. Of course. Nobody should come out and tell us that he has done that to his community. Listen, what they can do in the north, a rich man in the north can only cook one bag of rice and slaughter a cow and call the whole community to come and eat.
Are you speaking from experience?
Yeah, this is what I'm telling you. What I know. That is why whenever they say move, they will move like cattle. So I'm sorry.
Okay, XYZ. Thank you. All right, thank you so much. Thank you for calling. We'll take one more call and we'll call it today on the program.
There's a difference between will and can. Understand? There's a difference between will and can. Understand?
That's willingness and ability.
Sure. So you cannot say that nobody can do that. There are so many people that can do that.
Yes.
But this is the willingness to do it. Understand? So. But Nigerians are suffering. Nigerians are suffering.
And let's not even try to act like that's not what is happening. But again, we'll take one more call and we'll call it a day right here on the program. 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. One final call and that will be all for this evening. So who will be the lucky last caller? It is you. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name and location, please? What's your name and location, please?
Yeah, my name is Emeka from Bucknell.
Welcome, Emeka. Thank you for calling all the way from Bucknell. Let's hear from you.
Yeah. Well, the issue I'm trying to point out is insecurity. You know, normally we thought that the kidnapping or whatever will not come to the west here, even in Lagos. But I'm talking to you now. Yeah, Jakonde Estate, Okafa, that side. The thing that's happening now, there's a place there, the one market they call it a market, you know, in the night. I heard that because that market normally stays at night. So I heard that kidnappers came there, kidnapped the people selling there, even
people selling in the market.
Some of them. Huh?
Yes, like the people selling in the night market, right?
Yes, they came there, kidnap them, carry their food. These are, I think, people selling food stuff, carry their food stuff. You know, there's hunger. People are hungry now, so they took their, their food stuff and also kidnap them. You understand? So people over there are now advised to, especially people selling. The advice to once it's the evening, once it's like 6 or 6:30, you close and go.
So no more night market.
Yeah. So you see, the thing is not it's no longer a thing of it's no longer a joke. You know, because doing security, this thing is in Lagos State. We think Lagos is more safe and whatever. The thing is gradually, it's kind of springing up. So I don't know what government is, how serious they are taking all these things.
Thank
That's
you.
my own this area I want to go. I don't want to, say anything about whatever, but this is what we thought I want to, the kind of information I want to bring to the president.
We appreciate
right, thank
it.
You.
We really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for calling. All right, it's time for me to take your messages on WhatsApp and your comment on our YouTube platform. We're beginning from YouTube. Austin Page Ubaja says the VOP is growing fast, but allow people to air their view. We always do. Austin Page. Amachi Uche says greedy people. What are you talking about, Amachi Uche? I would like to know. All right, heading on over to WhatsApp. Let's take your comment. I have this caller that has been calling incessantly. Let me take this call. You're my final caller for the day. All right, I broke protocol to pick your call. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Are you there? I've picked your call. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
What's your name and location, please?
Oh, thank you very much. My name is Remy. I'm calling from London.
Welcome, Remy. Let's hear from you.
Thank you. I'll be quick. You see, why is it that 9 months into Bola Tinubu's time in office, the scandal, it's been scandal upon scandal, and I'm afraid this is what we continue over and over again. I mean, this leaked memo as a caption on your YouTube channel. Why? What happened? I mean, let them address the memo. The content of the memo should be addressed. How it got leaked is inconsequential. Okay.
Hello, Mr. Remy. Can you hear me? All right, then let me just, send me a message. I'll be here for a few more minutes, so send me a message and let me take your message right here on the program. Okay, good evening, VOP family. The guest in the studio, sir, please responding to the former VPSSA. Okay, that's the former vice presidential spokesperson. Are you saying that Tinubu was not part of Buhari's 8 years destruction of the economy? Have appointed some ministers to Buhari, principal actors in National Assembly and head of MDA. Why do you not say Tinubu inherited a bad economy from Buhari while Tinubu was part of the government? The Baba should just go home and rest. Uche from Olodia Papa. Okay. Uche. Good evening, crew. Okay. Nigeria has one of the highest out-of-school children in the world due to insecurities, kidnapping, also due to inflation and increase of school fees caused by this government for 8 months. This is this not intentional to destroy education? Because they believe the more educated you are, the more you'll be able to vote rightly and defend yourself. Now you're from Fagba. How do you know this one? Okay, moving forward. Good evening, VOP. Anyone who believes Tinubu inherits bad government from Buhari and he doesn't know what to do, how come he approved millions of dollars for SUV? Let him resign if he doesn't know what to do. Ralph from Satellite Town. I think there's an error on your phone lines. Callers cannot hear you, but you can hear them. Just tell them to move on with their contribution. I did, my dear. But thank you so much for your opinion. Good evening, VOP. I couldn't remember during Jonathan. He increased fuel with just 25 naira. Oshomole led the protest against Jonathan. Now Oshomole and others did not see his bad for this huge price on fuel that led to the suffering of Nigerians. May we find favor from God Almighty and not in this government. Adaku from Igondo. Mr. Good afternoon, Chairman Mr. Nosike. You see, our politicians are unrepentant, selfish and power-tasting individuals. At this time when the same politicians are saying that there is no money in Nigeria to provide even basic and essential items, the same politicians are proposing to create more states. The question is, if those new states are not going to have allocation to function, creation of states is not the main solution to Nigerian problems. Politicians should bring ideas that can solve Nigerian problems. Chinemere from Agbara. Mr. Wanosike is right by what he said concerning IMF, World Bank and WTO. If you look at what happened during Emefiele, all the advice that these organizations mentioned above gave to our government then to devalue Naira, which benefit does it bring to our currency and the economy? Is it not more hardship? Then when this government came in, they continue with devaluation, the Naira gets worse, simply because those organizations, especially World Bank and IMF, want to continue to borrow Nigeria money at a higher value so that the country will remain a slave under the West. Chinemere from Agbara. Okay, but the subsidy removal has caused Nigeria harm, so they should return it back. Didn't tell me your name and where you're calling from. Good afternoon, ma'am. I disagree with your guest on subsidy. There's nothing wrong with subsidy. All over other countries, there's subsidy of one form or the other. Isn't that what Mr. Anoske said? I think what the government should have done is to fight the corruption that goes with subsidy. Now that the government has removed it, how does it affect us positively as masses? The only thing that we enjoy generally is subsidy. Sam from Ogudu. Furthermore, now by removing subsidy, the government is having more allocation now. We citizens benefiting from it. Is it not the same corrupt people that are still benefiting from it? Sam from Oguto. Thank you, Sam. Martha from Lagos. Going back to the farm is not the problem, but the herdsmen who take their animals to destroy the farm, and when you talk, you become a dead person. Thank you, Martha, for writing all the way from Lagos. Good evening, Anaske and Chioma. One, food insecurity. The federal government has set up a committee to clamp down on traders holding grains or food. This is a cursory look and inappropriate method of curbing food insecurity. Fiscal insecurity of farmers, manufacturers, and merchants who are major producers in the food supply chain are being disrupted and on the brink of total collapse. The Ministry of Agriculture and other relevant bodies saddled with the responsibility over Greek produce, security, power, as well as President Tinubu, should put an end to insecurity, food scarcity, and power outage in the land. Then every other thing would fall into place. Number 2, subsidy removal remains a mirage and an illusion since President Tinubu's pronouncement that subsidy is gone. Nigerians are being misled by such a rash statement and would not stop asking the question whether subsidy was literally or metaphorically gone. Consequently, subsidy removal still remains a moot point until Mr. President clears the air. Chisco, you didn't tell us where you're writing from, but thank you for your point. APC is a propaganda party. They have nothing to offer. Please, victory for Nigeria in Jesus' name. Harry Ogada from Pangrove. During Buhari's time, he said Nigerian youths are lazy. Now, Tinubu's time, the youth should go to the farm. What a blind and inefficient party. Harry Ogada from Pangrove. Harry Ogada, small. Good evening. This is the raw truth. Nigeria is a country without direction, run by a crop of political jaguars without direction. The masses are helpless and poverty has made radical change a mission impossible. My advice, make money enough to relocate abroad. Come on, Muyiwa from mainland. Muyiwa, why now? Why don't we stay here and try to make the country better? Good evening, VOP. Please, I wept for Nigeria, my country. Kilo from Barua Ijesha. It is well. When Buhari got into power, he said he knew Nigerians didn't vote for him. So I don't know why people are expecting him to listen to the complaint of the people. It's God that will save us from this. All right, and the final message. Oh my goodness, when Dayo from Fagba writes, you just know his handwriting. Evening, Chama, Mr. Nosige, when you appoint excuse makers, propagandists, and deceptive people into power, what you get is turning laws into lawlessness, dreams into nightmares, brilliant minds to low-grade mind, a secured country to a gangster paradise. Dayo from Fagba. Okay, that is all the message we can take. Well, I can say that we just have a few more messages from our YouTube platforms. Is it not quarrel or the quarrel? Like, look at that quarrel. Charles Duru says she's behaving like Wike. Any link? What are you talking about? Charles Duru also says, go and ask Tinubu. Patrick Lee says, if the government doesn't take decisive actions to strengthen the economy, I see anarchy. Okay, Patrick Lee, hopefully this is not a prophecy of doom, but then it's time for us to leave. We won't leave without getting Mr. Anosuke's final words on the whole situation we've discussed today.
Well, my final words is I hope and I wish that this wayward ship called Nigeria will one day find a captain.
And that is that.
That.
All right, then that's all we can take on today's episode of the recap. As much as I want to continue and take it up until whenever it's time for us to go, and I just want to thank you. I want to appreciate all of our listeners, to those watching us on YouTube, to those calling us from the diaspora, to those calling us from here in Lagos, to those calling us from outside Lagos, to those who call and give us new information, to those who call and share their life's experiences, to those who call and let us know what's going on in their own little corner of the world, to those who call and ask the government that they actually listen. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. My name is Ijeoma Innocent. We'll be back with another wonderful